Camera,
That was nice.
Not sure.
1 o'clock.
yeah, the camera's on. Just turning up the volume a little bit. Okay.
It's so hot. I don't see me, I don't see myself on the agenda, so I might be here just a short amount of time.
No, it was on the agenda.
But
It's under,
It's not, but I was gonna ask about it also.
Yes, it is. It's under B, continuing budget amendments discussion from November.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is, because we would have to amend the budget
For,
for the insurance stuff.
we already paid insurance.
Yeah, but we were talking about adding Annalisa and Kyle.
Oh, I thought we were trying to reduce the. amount
Well,
of
that
insurance.
too.
Yeah,
That's why I just made a general budget discussion.
That's good.
What's that?
We heard today's 50.
Oh, okay, well.
It's 50%.
Don't say that till he gives us a premium.
We could be holding it in his bar.
All right, are we ready? Okay, I'm gonna call us to order again. We already did a brief call to order for our site eval, but the January 2026 meeting of the Cemetery Board of Directors is now in session. Hermrick and Bedortha, as well as myself, are here. We have quorum. So I will turn it over to, oh wait, no, we gotta do minutes. So my first motion would be to approve the minutes from December of 2022.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Oh my God.
Bedorza, aye.
Would I? Motion passes. Okay, next thing on our agenda is approval of the bills.
okay. Bills looked. Oh, that's not me. Keep going.
Well, we just
I
have to
didn't know if you had a question. on it.
no, we just need to make a motion to approve the bills, as usual.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills, but are you gonna, did you want to make a, have it, after he seconds, if you had a little discussion, that would be good.
Sure.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
No, we're not gonna go for the vote. We're in
Oh,
discussion.
we're gonna discuss.
I was just
Okay.
pointing out the insurance, large amount. I didn't get the details, so I'm not sure if it's vehicle and liability. I'm not sure what it is, but it was like the point of interest item on this bill, so I thought I would.
That, and that's the SDAI.
Oh,
Yeah.
But the overall,
Yeah, so I didn't break it out on the profit and loss as far as like vehicle versus liability, because I don't have detail on it, so I'll have to
Do we
get
have
that.
our insurance through SBI? For vehicles and liability and all of that.
Yeah.
Property,
Mhm.
buildings,
Yes.
and the- Okay, that's the
So-
6441.
So is that a one-time fee or please tell me that's not monthly?
It's a one-time fee.
Okay. And that
Every
makes
year.
it-
so that's for the year.
So that makes it a little more reasonable. Thank you
Yeah.
for calling that out. Okay. All right. Now, Jean, I'm sorry, but you
Okay.
have to be in between.
I will make a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Oh my God.
Bedorza, aye.
Would I? Motion passes. Okay, next item on the agenda is technically our financial report. Do you want to do anything more with your financial stuff?
Just a few things.
Okay.
One is on the meetings, depending on the date. I try and get these emailed to you like 2 days before, but with it being on the 9th, and I just got the bills like right before, I didn't have time to get them out for additional time for y'all to look at. But most of these, I think there's probably 2 dates on this. It looks like they may not get to you before the meeting. Other than
I
that,
tried not to go real close to the 10th, but then
yeah,
for some of them, it was like, well, we can't back these off till the 20th either, so.
right, yeah. I
Or I
think-
had to avoid holidays.
The only other thing I was gonna see if we want to, at the next meeting, take a few minutes to go over and see if we need to adjust the budget. There's a few items that we're gonna go. We're at the 6 month mark, but it looks like we might go over on a few things, so I didn't know if we want to adjust those maybe at the next meeting or
Which will
something.
be good because we need to hear Ron's
Yeah.
report too, so that might all work together.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Moving on, we have our operations report from Craig.
So since the 22nd of December, we've done 2 burials, 2 full burials. It was really, really busy and then slowed way down. Irrigation, I mean, there's really not much to report on, as far as irrigation, mowing's done. On the irrigation, because it was the holidays and this is a real fast turnaround for our meeting, I haven't, reached out to the people that I'm going to about the fixes on the irrigation yet. But that's the plan, the next 2 weeks for sure. Trees and branch control was done. We're done with vacuuming, the leaves. Equipment, so I know we put it in the budget. I've been looking at trailers and we had an incident on Friday that, during the service, or actually it was right after the service, that kind of justifies the trailer quite a bit. We sunk a grave, we sunk the truck into a grave, so it was not easy to pull it out. Luckily, nobody was there, no family. We had a civilian driving by actually help us because we couldn't do it with the equipment we had. But we got it done, backfilled, all is good now. But I feel like the trailer's gonna help with the weight of the dirt and everything. There'll be a lot less weight on the grounds and we'll be able to move it around a lot easier too, I believe.
Any consequences from the hole?
Not that I know of. We just backfilled with dirt and I gotta keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't sink in more, because now it's a void, so we have to just stay on top of making sure that it doesn't happen again. It was just happened to be in an area there's not too many graves to dig left. So everything's pretty old up there. So, but it just happened to be right on Main Street, so there's a lot of people that have seen it. So lucky for us, I didn't read about it on Prineville information or anything. So
It was an old family that you were burying before
yeah.
Friday, yeah.
And then improvements, I'm still working on the curbing. I did a little bit more. The display area for the monuments, for the sales of OM on monuments, is getting really close. As soon as Kyle gets back from vacation, him and I are gonna work on moving them. I would do it myself, but I don't want to break nothing. And same, no new updates on the rest of with the rest of the cemeteries. Personnel, Frank's still out on foot. I'm waiting on an update. He was supposed to see his doctor, I think, yesterday. I haven't heard from him yet. Annalise and Kyle are on vacation till the 20th. Tyus is back at college, so he's no longer available for help. And the office is closed on the 19th. That's it.
All right, moving on to old business, discussion of the site inspection at Juniper Hayden Cemetery.
Want to do the insurance guy first since he's here and the rest of this?
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Would you guys like to, because just might let him get back
We can
out.
just
The rest-
flip it, do B.
Do B first, okay.
The rest of us have
So-
to be here. That choice.
Sure.
So, your account, is handled through Triangle Insurance, and, the gal that was handling that had left the agency, and I've been working with Triangle Insurance for at least 12 years probably. And they don't do what I do. I do just benefits. And they've had somebody there for a while who did benefits. I would help out, I would train. Then they had somebody else, so kind of rotation thing. And so anyway, I handle your account. And I have my own agency. I have a home office and I'm in Bend and I'm over here a couple days a week. I've got clients from Found Falls to Burns to the Valley. So I kind of go all over the place and I do benefits, I do Medicare, and I do individuals under 65. I got quite a variety. Just a little bit about my previous experience. Many years ago, I worked at Blue Cross up in the Portland area for 5 years. I had moved over here to work for Pacific Health and Life, or now LifeWise, who's left the area. That was back in the later 90s. And then I was at Lumberman's Insurance and Financial Services for a few years and went out and started my own agency. So I'm all by myself now. But my experience includes I was the consultant on the St. Charles Health System for 5 years, consultant for Ochoco Lumber for a while. And so I've had some larger group experience. We call them Beamerton schools, it's Beaverton schools. I was on that case for a while, but anyway, so I've had quite a variety of you know, the actuarial side of things, and now I'm just on the agency side, enjoying the life. And so anyway, the renewal was, and we're gonna talk about that later, January 1st, and the company received a 7.91% increase. And here's a handout I put together for people. She went so down there. Can pass this down.
So I'm clear on this, we're just looking at health insurance for the employees.
Just look at, the employees. And I just want to share with you, you know, in the top, above the first line there, I talked about what the premiums were in 2025. 2026, like I say, 7.91%. In 2025, Craig was on the plan with the family. And in 2026, I have applications for 3 other employees coming on. That brings up to a total of 4 employees. The premium for Craig in 2025 for the one employee was $2,300 and change per month. Now with all 4 employees on, that premium bumps up to $5,154 a month. And it's a dollar change. I showed over there on the right, 2,800 and change as an increase. And what I did is I looked at all the carriers, even before I knew the other 3 were coming on, and no one was more competitive. I looked at with the other 3 employees on, so a total of 4. And in the very bottom area there, I show premiums with the current census data are all 4. If we did a re-rate and included them, that employee only premium as an example would be $1,000.44 per month, where you're renewing here at the top, we can see it at 881.05. So, you know, next year we just need to be aware if we have the same 4 employees, we're going to be looking at a bit of a bump based upon the census data. It's with Pacific Source Health Plans. And you're in the group size market of 1 to 50, and all they can rate on is based upon their entire pool of business and, you know, average age change or family composition change, their base rate. So they can't say, hey, one group is worse than another, so we're going to give them a big increase. It's just, you know, whatever composition you have here, any other employer with that same composition would have the same premiums for the same benefits. So it's all good. There's a plan out there that's pretty popular through the Bend Chamber, and they use Providence Health Plans. And because it's an association, they can rate all over the board. I've delivered renewal increases. One was 88.4%, one was 66%. Of course, we moved to a different carrier. But when I looked at all the carriers that were available to you, Pacific Source remained the most competitive. So if I can take like 2 minutes and give you a heads up of what's coming down the pike, so to speak, is that okay? So we have the hospitals across the country, and especially here in Oregon, are really in a bit of a conservative, and they're really in a bit of a panic, actually. We have what's going on is, let's just put in left field over here. You may have heard about a big, beautiful bill that was passed. In center field, we have the nonpartisan budget office. In right field, we have a law that I'll talk about here in a minute. But this nonpartisan budget office is projecting trillions of dollars in new deficits. So this law in right field, called PAYGO, requires that the federal department or federal sections of the government cut their budgets. So as an example, with the 2026 budget cycle, Medicare has to cut $68 billion from their budget, and over 10 years, it's $526 billion. So the hospitals see lower reimbursements from Medicare. The nonpartisan office also projects 12 to 14 million people nationwide will lose Medicaid benefits, or like Oregon Health Plan we have here. And so they're seeing, they're gonna have to give out quite a bit more of the charity care as they refer to it. When they give out the charity care, they get a small reimbursement from the federal government, it's not their actual charges, but they get a reimbursement. So they're seeing all this stuff going on, and you may have heard about this recent issue with tax credits for individual plans. We're gonna see people, you got this many people on individual plans receiving tax credits. We're gonna see this group, those tax credits go away. And so we're gonna see a lot of people with some big increases. Well, they've already happened. I've got one gal, she's 62. Her current premium for the highest deductible, lowest cost plan is $515 a month. Well, January 1, she went to just over $1,200 a month. I've got a couple on the coast, their current premium is $1,500 a month. They're going to $3,600 a month, or they did January 1. So there's a lot of examples out there, and a lot of these people are probably going to cancel their plans. They simply can't afford it. They'll hook up with like Mosaic or those kinds of places that base services on income. I give you a break on that. But we're seeing all the hospitals in Oregon with dramatic increases in their budget or in their reimbursements they're demanding from carriers. As an example, St. Charles is a monopoly. So you got to pay what they ask for the most part. One carrier on March 1st of this last year had to give a 35% increase in reimbursement to the St. Charles system to be able to call them a preferred provider. They went through negotiations for January 1 of 2026 and had to give up another 35 or 40%. Those are some pretty dramatic increases in hospital costs. So carriers are looking at all this saying, where are we going to be? I know about 6 or so years ago, as an example, St. Charles charged about 400% of what Medicare allowed. This is kind of a, you can look at the different hospitals, but they were about 400%. Now they've got to be close to 1,000%. And so we're just seeing hospitals with these kinds of examples. A lot of them are monopolies, like Medford has Asante, that's their large hospital. OHSU is not a monopoly, but I'll tell you, they command a pretty big price. So we're seeing a lot of this really hit. Providence Health Plans, as an example, this is public information for January 1 of 2026. Back in May, they filed a 25% increase in their premiums for group size of 1 to 50. That's huge. And so they'll lose that business. They'll go to other carriers. Other carriers filed somewhere between an 8 and a 12% increase. So those carriers are picking up the business. But what we're going to see is with all these higher hospital bills they're going to have to pay, we're going to see a lot of pressure on a Pacific Source or a Blue Cross or a Moda Health because they're kind of behind the times right now with having to give those big increases. So next year, I just don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be an increase for sure. Another part of that is, and if I go, if stop me if you want me to stop, but under state law, a hospital system cannot bill a state employee or a school district employee more than 200% of what Medicare allows. So that 200%, you know, for commercial plans like here, you know, they're paying much closer to 800 or 1,000% of what Medicare allows. So they're trying to make up more on the commercial or private side versus the state or the school district employees. I mean, that's just what the law is. It says hospital can't charge more than 200%. That's it. So they can't increase the cost or get more revenue from those types of, from the hospital or from the school districts or state employees. So we got a lot of pressure out here. And, you know, St. Charles right now, I believe that, well, they say they're the highest paid nurses in the state. And they, you know, you just see all these examples. And I'm not trying to paint a big ugly picture. I'm just trying to tell you what's out there. And, you know, for next year, it can be a big deal. So, anyway, I've asked Craig, he doesn't know it yet, that here is a front and back for what they call the small business healthcare tax credit. I'm going to ask him to look into that. And I can send you the link. You can answer questions and then they'll kick back whether or not they qualify here for tax, special tax credits. As one example, the average income of employees has to be something below 50 or 55,000, right in that range, and there's just some other requirements,
So why would they care? They're being provided insurance, so what would be the incentive?
the employer. The employer would have the credits.
Okay,
And how are you filed here as an entity? Are you,
for a small district.
Yes.
no, but I mean, like, the taxing, are you a S corp or?
We're a taxing district to the county.
We're a special district.
Oh,
So
okay.
property taxes come in so much.
Oh, and I don't know how that qualify. I've got to put,
Okay,
Yeah.
and I can work with Craig on that to see if it qualifies.
that'd be good to know.
And if you do have any questions, Christina in finance will probably be able to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever means, they're good money.
So the plan you have, there is no higher deductible, lower deductible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So where,
So
what do
What are
we,
your?
Oh,
deductibles?
you're at $1,000 calendar year deductible. The out-of-pocket maximum, which includes that deductible, I believe it's a 6,000. I have to verify that, but yeah. So there's plans all the way up to $8,000, $9,000 deductible. But this is the plan that has been in place for some time,
so
and so
that's where maybe we need to start taking a look at, what we're offering, why I think it's a nice idea to have the best plan possible for the employees. I mean, maybe they're of an age where we don't need to have such a high. I mean, we could get by with a higher deductible to reduce the premium rates, and I don't know how negotiating goes on that with employees and the board is a thing, because this is the benefit they've already been offered and they're used to. Is there consequences to us saying it's too much?
Yeah.
And how do we find that out? That's why you.
I mean, I could reach out to them and see.
So it's $1,000
per calendar year deductible.
deductible.
And there's office visit copays up front and
And what's
What
the,
is the copay?
oh, I'll get you a summary of benefits. I can't quote it right offhand. I didn't bring one with me, but I'll send you a summary of the benefits.
would it be fair to say it's $25 for sick visits or something? Would that be?
25 for however many visits you have in a calendar year.
Yep, okay, and it's
For like-
usually a cap, like 6 visits and then
Not
after
on
that,
not on this plan.
okay,
So as an example, for a family practice provider, maybe you'd like a $25 or $30 copay. For specialists, it's going to usually be about double that. And for urgent care, it's going to be somewhere right between the two, or maybe at the specialist level. So they got some upfront benefits, certainly prescription drugs, there's copays.
so if we were able to raise the deductible to like $5,000, is that a substantial savings?
It is, just off the top of my head, it'd be a 20-ish, 22% decrease in the premium, probably. I can send him I'll send him some options on what that are.
Be good to know, because I'm thinking, can we put into a health savings plan for the employees, so the difference would go into a savings plan to help them meet, since we already have a plan offered of that amount. So is that something you want to look into for us, Sheriff? I mean, with finances, so does it make sense what I'm asking here?
Uh-huh.
Higher deductible.
Yeah.
And maybe it'd be better for us to put some money in savings through a approved plan and.
Yeah.
Try to start reducing the.
Premiums a bit. You can do a health reimbursement account, HRA account. Same amount of money goes into it. You can do that over here. It doesn't matter the medical insurance plan. Over here in Wrightfield, if you will, would be an HSA or health savings account. And then you'd have to have an HSA qualified medical insurance plan. And then the government changed it for individual plans for next year. It doesn't matter if you have copays up front. You can have any bronze plan. You can put money into an HSA, but you can't do that on employer plans.
But we can have 2 plans though.
Yes.
So we can have the savings,
Yeah.
thrift savings or whatever it is. And what did you say you thought roughly the percentage savings?
I'm just off the top of my head.
We're not gonna hold you to
Yeah, just turn the camera off for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's $5,100 month.
1,000 a month. Yeah.
So it doesn't take long to put $10,000 in the savings account to cover it. Of course, it's per employee, so.
And you'd be limited, if it's an HSA, you're limited to. I want to say this year, the deductible or 46 or 4,800 over the whole year you can put in, but you gotta do it monthly.
Unless it's a
Um,
family plan.
And that accumulates, and if it's not used, the next year you don't have to fund it, is that right?
Well, you're the employer can make that decision, but
We can keep funding. Okay.
once it goes
Yeah.
into this HSA eligible savings account, it's theirs. It's there and belongs to the employees forever. It's always theirs. And they can use it for any medical, dental, vision expenses they might have. For my CPA tells me for anybody on their tax return. So if you have somebody as an employee only who's got a spouse covered under another plan, they can put money on behalf of this employee into the savings account, but pulling it out can be done for anybody on the tax return.
So we give the money up though, is that correct?
Yeah, it's
Once
on.
the employer puts it in,
It's done.
all right, we'd have to weigh the cost differences on this. And I have no problem with you guys drawing it alphabetical, but it needs to be a savings in the district in order to be a viable
Oh, sure.
alternative.
Yeah.
Does this have to be decided by the 15th?
Well, no, actually, we went through renewal January 1. So if you want to make that change February 1st or retro back to January 1, I would need to get Pacific Source to agree to that.
Okay.
Um,
And is it on the first of each month, we can request that, or is February 1st the drop dead date for the year?
Well, the sooner the better. I mean, we're in January 1, we have a contract for a year and it's a month to month. You can always, they're willing to change and you're willing to change, then so be it. But probably want to keep the renewal January 1, because the other challenge we have is when you look at if they.
Yeah, just
Census data, that employee only rate.
they're holding a meeting.
Okay,
So what I'd want to do is offer, if you want to offer a second plan, base it on the January 1 original renewal and not do hourly rate, which means maybe we go back to January 1 or we go to February 1st and put the plans in and I'll talk to them
okay.
and see what they can agree to do for us.
So do we need to have a special meeting for,
That's what I'm wondering. How do we move this forward, or do we even want to, knowing what we know now?
Well, if you don't mind, I'll suggest, why don't I send you the premiums for the HSA eligible plan as an example?
Okay.
So you got the current and look at the HSA, I'll look at a couple of options there.
Okay.
And then I can do that over the weekend. So I can get it to Craig soon. And then if you guys want to eyeball it and say, hey, maybe we do or we don't want to move forward, we can go from there.
Could you send it to both of them to share also, because she's our accountant?
Yeah.
And I can distribute it to you guys when I get it.
As long as I can email address, yeah, that'd be good. So
Is this something we want to look at? Board?
make a note here. Say,
It's just gonna go up another 15% next year.
If you might be lucky.
I know.
I don't know how people are gonna keep
Really
making
lucky.
it.
Yeah, it's very, yeah. 15
Yeah.
would be a mercy.
No, it's, yeah,
Even our Medicare is not looking good.
But the thing is, you just gotta tip over and have it done. It's gotta be a final deal.
yeah, and with the Medicare thing yeah. And
It's just,
You know-
stop that.
in this region, in this Tri-County region, we're down to one Medicare Advantage plan. Pacific Source is it. They've got about 30,000 members on that. And the hospital doesn't like Medicare Advantage plans. So my guess is Pacific Source will be out of that market next year. We won't have any in the region. I don't know. It's just a guess.
No, I think there's right.
Charles comment.
Yeah.
I'm on Central Oregon Health Council. It's good.
Yeah. So anyway,
What do we
Okay.
have budgeted, Sheriff? Can I give you offhand for the year?
yeah, 75,000.
we're.
So this year we'd be under by 13,000.
Okay,
The way it stands right now, correct? And that is with all 4 enrolled?
That is with it going off of this 51, 54, 15 a month.
That's good.
and that is for the 4 employees, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna be under even more this year because we didn't start this until 6 months into our fiscal year.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're even better,
Yeah.
but in theory,
And just a heads up on the billing invoice from Pacific Source, these 3 new employees probably won't show up until March 1st on the billing invoice. The coverage is January 1, begin January 1, but they're so inundated and so far behind with things that it probably
they'll
won't.
charge 3 months worth on that.
But we know, I think we're a 6 month in before we provide health insurance, correct? Or do we?
Yeah, so they all,
Are they?
at this point qualified from when they were hired.
Been 6 months already?
I think it was 90 days.
Okay.
It's-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
We're-
Aunt
we're-
Lisa came on in August, so she's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kyle didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle didn't.
I think he was there by September.
Yeah, it was like the next month.
Yeah, but if we're beyond the probationary period, there's open enrollment, which was the month of December or January 1 start date. So if it got missed, then they still come on.
Okay,
And under law, your probationary period can be as long as first day following 90 days, or most employers do first of the month following 60 days. That way you don't have to count the middle of the month or
Yeah.
numbers or anything. So,
that's the premiums, okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
Well, thank you.
That's all.
okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I'll get you an email and let's, I'll send you the link. And then we can, sometime when you're ready, just give me a call. We can do it together.
Okay, sounds good.
But to be able to answer the employee or the questions.
I'm sure I'll have lots of questions.
Yeah, okay. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay, moving on, we can now go back to site inspection, Juniper Haven Cemetery.
And I asked real quick on this, so you guys are gonna get the information and then we'll move forward from there at our next board meeting.
Unless we need to just do it by February 1st. That would be I mean, I can email the information for y'all to look at, and then I don't know if we can do like can we do a special meeting like
I don't-
via Zoom if people can't physically make it, or?
I think we can do an emergency like special
Yeah,
meeting.
you could do a special meeting. We just need to make sure it's properly noticed. et
24
cetera.
hours.
So,
Just.
I have to
working.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's what I read, 24 hours.
I think it's 24 hours.
and we can confirm too.
Yeah, if it's not, Steve will yell at me, so. Okay, so what do we all think of what we saw up at the cemetery? Thoughts, impressions?
Well, I can lead off if you want some time.
Go for it.
You.
You opened this can of worms.
What do we do with the easements? So we know we've already got a set of rules. We have 3 easements. Do we want to try to have Steve's office and one of us meet with the current owners or a rep and discuss it and see if there's options out there? Do we want to let sleeping dogs lie? And the easements are good. I have some concerns about the fence easement and the grave easement. I mean, they are probably taken care of. I'd rather they were deeded over to us, but that's just me. I don't like easements. The barn or the easement for the building, on the cemetery problem, to me, there's a pretty good gray area there, because it's not real clear as to how the resolution comes about after 2 years of it being vacated. Who says it's vacated? I mean, I can say it's vacated right now and has been, but they could come back and say, no, we used it last week. So it's not a very clear easement in my eyes for today's consumption.
And if you wanted us to research that, we could certainly take a look and see what, case law has defined as abandonment and try to put together some sort of
Yeah.
good argument. But yeah.
I would rather start off on good terms with my neighbor, because
Yeah.
in the past, we haven't had good terms from the looks of it with the neighbor. And
Seems like the first thing to do is to get it flagged. So that everybody knows exactly where it is. We're not looking at red T-posts and thinking that's where it is.
Yep.
And from there, have a meeting with the new owners. Present this material, let them absorb it.
Yep.
And see what the climate is. That would be my way of
Great.
looking at it.
And I will go along with that to the extent getting the flag. We all know what it is. We have the meeting with them, but I think we probably should have a little idea of how do we want it approached? Because they're gonna say easements are in place. What's my motive to do anything, or what's your motive to even be concerned about this? And so if they approach us with that, do we want to say, well, we need to think about it, or are we interested in trying to deed those parcels up, expand the cemetery if they're interested in selling? So all we can do is start, but I'd like to have a little idea.
That would be my thing, as expansion on that one parcel, and then it would be really nice to have those, to get rid of that perpetual easement, and have that deed was over. That would be the ultimate to me.
Okay, so the
Because they're
cemetery easement and the fence easement, two of us would like it deeded over, Jamie. or-
Yes, I think we've kicked this can is about as far as it can be
Okay.
kicked, so,
It is resolved. It's just that I think we're trying to go the next step with it.
Yes.
And,
right.
all right, so that would be one issue, is that we would
And I
like
would need
to.
to give that property up that's up there, just because it would be good for expansion. I'm looking down 50, 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
50, 60, 100 years down the road, we might need that.
So why not just like, well,
And see if we can buy a chunk. If they're going to abandon their buildings, can we
Yes.
try?
we don't know what their business.
That's
plan is.
correct. And it's always.
So they may not even want any of that, so maybe we need to take a look at that.
Yep, so that's,
Yeah.
so at least
That would
we.
be my
yeah,
thing.
All
Let
right,
it climate.
Yep. I'm good with that.
Um,
One thing I will ask the attorney to review, since we're talking about this, can the cemetery lease the ground it's not using? So in other words, if we don't need it for 50 years, can we try to encourage some sort of a development that would be non-intrusive to the cemetery, but yet generate some funding for the cemetery monthly, yearly?
In the portion that's currently the easement area.
Anything that we might expand on to, or
that we
even
currently have.
ground that we have fenced in?
And since they quit paying that stipend, did that negate? Because they were leasing it,
So-
and that was part of that easement thing. Did that negate
In the
that
easement,
easement? Was it, I mean, don't they have to pay?
by signing all the easements, all three of them, the cemetery did not get any lease money. So it specifies in there on the building encroachment where there had been a lease in place, that lease goes away. And the easement for the buildings took the place of that lease. So it's a gray area to me, as anything outside of what we eased to them for the building encroachment. What about the rest of the property? I don't think that was addressed, and that's something we need to make sure we try to get addressed.
I
Because what
know
they
they used to lease out the hay fields.
Pardon?
Public would like to expand, how do we know?
They used to let the one gentleman hay the, like behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to lease that part out. I know they did.
If they were leased for years to different people that would hay it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, that days came and went because the parcels are too small and getting people to do it. But I'm just curious. I mean, if you give a long enough lease, they might put a building on it, and it might be pretty good generation of income for us, because I can't see us needing some of that
Well,
property.
again, you have to understand what their business plan is.
That's correct. Yep.
So it goes right back. to
Oh,
what
I'm
they-
asking past that. If
Oh,
they were to
okay.
do something, what can we as a cemetery district do with that land?
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, we could put together probably relatively brief and high level analysis of what the options would be.
Yeah.
For that piece of land. With the goal of generating some sort of income in the period of time where it's not being used for cemetery purposes.
Yeah.
Is that kind of your idea?
Yep.
Even though
Okay.
it's.
And we don't have to dive too deep into it. We just need to see if we can legally do that, and if it's
Yeah.
something that would be viable, the cemetery board would like to do.
Yeah.
And my next question on all of this
She's
issue
sure full of
is,
questions.
if we don't get anything done and we just leave the easements the way they are, what do we do with the property that's fenced in? Do we need to address that? Get it fenced back in? The one parcel we really can't use, but what do we do with it? I do think we need some clarity as to what's going on with that property outside of our fence.
Fence, yeah. Do we need to rebuild the fence lines?
Possibly.
You know,
So if if we were to have, Susie, do you want to check with Kelso to see what it would cost to have him go up there and just flag it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Can I take those easement documents you gave?
have a copy of them, but I'll
Oh, I
give
know,
you
but
one.
is that all I need? If
Yeah.
you looked at those, okay?
Yep.
Mine
And
goes.
Kelso's aware of this because I had Marky Bernard go in and get this and they talked about it.
Oh,
And so if you like to, you can,
okay.
Yeah, and Barry, would you send us those more recent maps too?
pardon?
Would you send
Am I
us
taking-
those
Absolutely.
survey maps too?
I'll tell you what, if you guys want these, we will get a new set from Kelso when you
Oh.
go in.
No, we don't, just if we had an email copy of those, if there's a.
They're wanting a digital copy.
Oh, well, take a picture and send it to you. Does that help
We,
you?
we
can do
could
it.
probably scan it on like a copy machine that does.
I'd have to take it down to, mailboxes won't be this size, so we'd have to go to.
Central Oregonian does.
Or there's a print shop down here that I
Yeah.
use also, so,
So
Are
you could,
taking the maps?
well, do you want to, and can you scan that and send a,
or if Kelso prints those off, they could probably,
then Kelso can send this to you.
Yeah, they could
Get-
probably send them.
But you could, when you talk to Kelso,
Yes.
It's fine, we can just, yeah, send
You have
the
a-
email.
Do you have a card with you?
I do have that, so I can get it to you at the end, and we have the easement, so I have the pieces of the maps, but I like that. Full
Mhm.
map showing all the areas, that's
Just have Kelso send it to you.
so you'll take care of that?
Evidently, I guess I got, they signed that, yes.
Well, I mean, I'm more than happy to stop, but you thought you might be able to, I mean, he is the county surveyor, and there are services that they do, these pay
Yes.
a stipend and that, so.
the one easement that I have questions about that I don't think we looked at was the one down by Republic Services that was the weird one with the 10 foot. We can use everything under the ground, they get the top of the ground.
Yep.
Do we want to just do something with that? Because most of that is paved on their side of the fence at
Yeah.
least.
We can't do anything with it, really. I mean, we could sell it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Do we just want to sell them that 10 feet? Cause I don't see us like digging 10 down underneath their pave
Yeah.
job there.
And chucking people under.
Yeah, that just,
So the only reason I would say
Yeah,
no
Jack.
is because I like a buffer. And that's my only reasoning is, even though we can't use it and there's not much they can do with it, it is a buffer strip. Next to the
Right.
cemetery for future development. I don't see us getting developed, but I see them, but I'm fine with whatever. you guys-
what worries me is, are they aware of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Goodwin's the one that did it. I can get enough notes to figure it out that he requested it, and I cannot get any information as to why the board agreed to do it. There's no
Yeah, it's
no
weird.
discussion back and forth, but I'm still looking for minutes. So,
I don't know if she would have any. I might be able to reach out to Velda and see if she's got anything that far back.
okay, so that would be previous Velda, yes. So I think it was Velda and your dad, and I can't think of the other person.
I don't think he was on there in 98.
Maybe not, but I was thinking Jim Woods.
Mhm.
So they're the ones that did this first easement, the three road, cemetery easement, fence easement, and the encroachment easement. And I can't find notes as to why or what why they went that direction, rather than try to square it up. But I can tell you this, it's been an issue for a long time. Way before then, it's been known that this was not right. So,
Yeah, that one was just the weird one to me. I'm like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then do we want to move onward? All right, so the next thing on
So happy, aren't you?
our agenda is
Good.
the bylaws development.
I need the friend.
Um,
You want to, we'll talk about it
okay.
later. It's just a matter of wording. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Steve emailed me a PDF final copy this afternoon, just before I came down to the meeting. And he asked me to distribute it to everybody. He asks also that you guys review it and have it back to him in the next 2 weeks so he can have it back to us in its final form before the February meeting.
So he has a different one that was presented.
It's similar. What he's done is he's gone through and on parts where we don't have anything that was clear, he's made a note asking us what we want to do there.
Okay. Cause he did on the old one too. I just haven't had
Right.
a chance to really.
It's rehashing policies we've already approved, like the media policy, banking, that sort of thing.
Okay,
But like one of the questions was, do we want to renumber these? And my position is, do we really need to? That kind of thing.
yeah, okay.
But yeah, as you read through it, on your computer, there'll be a little square that appears off to the side and it has his note, and then you can type in yours, send it back to him.
Okay.
So, I will get that to you guys this afternoon. And then the last thing under old business, Susan, what happened with our lady with the damaged monument?
I just told her that we were in the process of getting bids and that we thought that we could have it fixed, and that was where we left it, and I would have to get back to her. So that's kind of your plate now. Because you were getting the bids from the gentleman and then, and
Annalisa worked on that, and he hasn't been up to Juniper Haven yet. But he's on board to come look at it. He
Yeah.
can do it, from what I heard, he can do it on site without transferring. Whereas OM gave us
But
that
yes.
bid, but
we did want it transferred.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're not liable or they're not gonna be liable for the transport.
And
And
was there a third option? I thought we had 3 options.
we've reached out to a couple different places that we haven't heard anything about yet.
Okay. So we're still on standby though.
Yeah.
And did she respond to your letter?
I didn't actually send a letter.
You
I
just
just
talked
talked to her, yeah, and she was very good with it. I said that we thought that we could have it fixed. We were investigating it. And I would get back with her and I'll call her.
And she was good with that.
Oh, no, she was very
Okay,
good.
good.
I mean, it's, with the holidays.
Said,
short-
and I also said, it's a bad time right now, but we feel, so she was
Yeah.
very good.
Okay.
Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah,
But I think you're right. I was supposed to send it over, but somehow.
It's good.
And I did have the OM, one of the owners was there delivering and setting up a monument.
And you were
But I-
gonna ask him,
And I had him look at it and everything too. And so
what did he say?
he said, that it's same as what they had told us before. They would have to load it up, take it over, repolish the whole thing. He gave me a rundown of all the stuff that they do to it and then bring it back and reset it. But we're liable to pay for all the transport, the resetting fee on top of that. And he didn't insinuate that it would take less than the time that they already allotted in that bid. And so I think it can be
Well,
done.
once we figure out what the final bid is, then I will call her again. And then I do want to say, Annalisa never got me those rules. I need those rules.
Yes, I can
I
do.
do want to attach them, but I didn't have those.
Sure.
If you could have Annalisa give me those rules.
Yeah, or I could send them.
That would be good. And then the other thing is we need to start making sure that people read those and sign them.
And
That needs to
it,
be part of our new procedure.
and it is, she added the verbiage to the bottom of the right of adjournment. Like that informational sheet that they all have to fill out. So,
And since we were in the unknown, I didn't broach any of that because I didn't feel I had to yet until we knew whether that was where we were going. So I kept it a habit.
Okay. Moving on, since it is January, the first of the year, everybody doing their new me stuff. One thing I wanted to have us kind of have on our radar, what kind of projects and changes do we want to make in the coming year?
Okay, one of the things that I want to make, and I want to make a motion, is we have on our website that we're putting out our agenda 72 hours. We put this out 49 hours. And that isn't acceptable. And I would like to give this to Annalisa to do this agenda. I would like Annalisa to contact my administrative assistant, and I would like to follow the county's protocol, which appears to be acceptable. which is we go a week and a half out and say we need all of our information by we do it the Wednesday before because we meet on Wednesdays. And then she does that agenda and that agenda goes out. So I would like to see Annalisa take this over. I don't think it would be that hard. I think it would go ahead and then she needs to make sure that the people of interest get this. Because the people of interest did not get this in the right time. And so I have been entrusted with getting this done. And I think it would be so I would like to make a motion to move Annalisa to do this. And in that I will have her consult our gal who follows the ethics that we have to follow. And we move on.
I'll second that, but with discussion a little bit.
And that's why you need a second to discuss.
Yep.
And then you call for the vote. So totally good.
So I'm fine with Annalise doing it. It would take a little off of your plate. And then if we ever have a board change, we sort of maybe have the district taking the district management is sort of in the know with what's going on. I can see the benefit to that. So county policy is 1 week prior. to
So
the
what
meeting?
we do is so like we meet on Wednesdays. So everything for let's say the Wednesday is whatever date it is. The week before, everything that's on that agenda has to be in the week before. So the week before, like you have the Wednesday, it has to be in, and the meeting is the following Wednesday. You can do amendments. That doesn't mean it has to be carved into stone. You can do an amendment. But then what we do from that Wednesday is we go, and I think she sends them out Thursdays or Fridays. She wasn't in the office today, or I would have had this written out. And I didn't want to kind of screw up and make my own thing that I would do it, and then Brianna would tell me I was stupid. So long, or not stupid, but I did. But a half a week before, she sends a reminder. Hey, Gary, Susie, Jamie, is there anything you want on the agenda?
Okay, so
And then she sends out, this is the last day to give it to you. And then on that Wednesday, she accumulates that, and on that Thursday, it should be going out. So it's actually going out way before.
okay,
Now, if we have an amendment, you can do those with the properly noticed. You can do emergency amendments or whatever. So again, it's kind of following this basis. But we can change it if we had to, but that would get us out of all ethic complaints.
and so that being that close, if we need to add to it, can we just state it in the agenda that we're gonna add? There may be things that come up that aren't on the agenda.
That would be a question for Brianna, who knows this backward and forward, and I don't want to answer that. That's why if Annalisa could be trained by her, it would take all of these problems away.
Okay, and then you did say there would be contact to the board members.
Yeah, well, you have to ask anybody that wants to put it on the agenda, so yes.
Okay.
In our case, we send it out to department heads.
Okay,
And then I do my own.
Yep.
I know, so then I tell her, hey,
Okay.
I need to be added to the agenda. So yeah, anybody who would be concerned. So Craig would be, well, obviously she just talked to you on the other side of the office. You would be, Jamie would be, if the lawyer, any of them, we would just make an email list, and this is a reminder that it has to be in on this date. And from that date, then she can make it and she can post
okay,
The only thing I would add to that is that, put it on my plate and then I divvy it out. Only because on the bylaws that I've read,
thank you.
that's exactly how it's stated.
Yep.
That it falls on the district manager, and then I'll divvy it out as like.
I
'cause
just-
I
I
read
just
that
was
and I
not
was,
putting
I
it
wanted
as
to.
as a person doing
Yeah.
computer, I was being kind to you. Craig.
No,
As I recall, I think Steve changed that part.
Did he?
There was a question at that particular juncture. I don't remember
I mean, it's
specifically
something
what
I
it was.
oversee anyway, like,
Yes.
I mean, I would, at the end of the day, I mean, she's on vacation right now, so.
Yeah.
It falls on me, so,
Yes.
and I don't want to put as being my employee.
Nope.
I don't want to put her liable.
And when
It's-
Brianna
it's gonna
gets
be all-
back, I can just have her make a little thing for you so that it just has the points. This is the
Yeah.
dates. And
I mean,
that
she'll-
will have it.
Essentially, she'll do it. She'll,
I get it, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I know we've got this
but I wanna learn it too, just in
Yeah.
case, so.
Here's one thing that pops into my head immediately, that I don't like, is having Brianna do it. Or be,
No, Brianna's not
well,
doing it.
but, or
She's just
being
saying-
any part of it.
I get that,
Because
but-
she's not cemetery district,
Okay.
she's a county employee.
Okay,
And so it's kind of like, it comes back to separation of church and state. You're not on the board
okay.
as,
we are not in
as,
compliance at this point, and we gotta get ourselves in
So
compliance.
let's
Or
take
we're
that-
having a case.
is-
well,
I'm trying
if,
to-
if you're referring to Mr. Alderman, he's got us blocked. Every time you send him an email from
He's
the-
saying you have blocked it.
bullshit.
I can't.
You know what? Let him say it. I've got the proof that I sent it. I've got the proof that I get the message back, message blocked.
I'm trying to cure. the
Well,
fight. I'm trying to make us
I'm
all
not gonna
happy.
make any special concessions for
But
him
If you don't want.
because of the way he has treated us.
So let
He
me-
doesn't want to be treated like a third-class citizen, then he needs to give everybody else the same consideration. I'm not making any special accommodations for him.
Just suggesting how we have solved it, and you can actually go on our website. And we have our public meeting thing, so she could research it out.
So
Not have anything to do.
does the attorney know of a neutral site that we could have Craig as the manager come up with the answer to?
It's all or in evidence, it's all written in.
I'm not worried about that. For her to learn.
Sure.
So for Annalisa or Craig to learn rather than use the county because it's.
I was just because she
Can we,
needs it.
is there someplace that we can go that would have that kind of a solution?
Absolutely. So there's the Public Meetings Handbook, which I think Craig even referenced earlier. SDAO has a ton of great free resources, and that's usually the first place we send special districts.
Okay.
We as attorneys could also help with that. I understand you want to be cognizant of costs, and that's totally fine, but if there's a need for any sort of 101 type of thing, it's
Mhm.
obviously something
I'm
we can
thinking
do.
just a guideline, but as
Just
this
sort of
part
like
of the
a
month,
handbook.
whatever, yeah, that's all I was thinking.
I-
I was thinking.
I think
so-
that SDAO is a great place to start, and we should probably even have that. You could probably take a clip.
And I saw something referenced in that bylaws, the packet. That it referenced where to find that blanket.
Perfect, that's
information.
all you need to do.
Okay.
I was trying to
So-
make it separate.
Yeah.
Does that meet the needs of both of you
Yes,
as far as
yes,
having
that's
the
totally
neutral
fine.
party? Okay.
Yeah, as long as we're not bringing county employees
Okay.
into
We're
it.
not really bringing a county employee. you would
Well,
be
but
bringing
she's
friends.
learning from her, so she's having to spend time away from her county job to teach Annalisa, and I don't like
I just
mixing.
was looking, I was looking at a time in the calendar where you take a calendar and you say, here's your meeting. A week before that, you
Yeah,
need that, and so many days before that, you need to remind, that was what I was looking at.
so we
I
can,
don't know those specific.
we can set those guidelines.
Yes.
Maybe we need to, I mean,
Yes.
I agree with this because I think the board,
Yes,
we move on or we change. I do
Yes.
think we need some consistency that there is a policy in place that maybe the district manager is the guy that's in the know. And I'm fine with an outside source and then maybe if we vote to do this, you guys need to get started on it and make sure it meets the criteria that,
Mhm.
and Susie makes a good point. I like this idea of going out a week before, that kind of a deal.
and you
So-
can do them, like I say, you can do an amendment, you can have, you know. But we need to get it out, and we definitely, if we're saying 72 hours and we're sending it out 49, that's not acceptable. We've got to get this together. So that is my motion is for the district manager to take over the board of directors meeting notice and agenda and to make sure
You can see it.
and to make sure that we are following Oregon ethic law. I'm not gonna argue if you want any of that.
No, I'm just putting that there so that you can see it. It was sent. We get it back every single time. I send it to 4 separate emails. Message blocked.
And I think what's important here is, the district is complying with its obligations under the law to send it out. And so this is clearly an issue that's happening. I think this policy discussion can exist independently of that, but I just do want to say that the district's obligation is to send it out to the email that's been requested, and it has been doing that. So
Good.
that is clear.
And
That's perfect.
that's good. So then my second stance, my questions were answered and I like the concept, so I'm.
So I amend the motion to have it,
Yeah,
Go
well, and I
ahead.
just stated that because that's what I read in the.
and that should be what's
Okay.
by us, and
Yeah.
that, and then. Like I say, we come up, we look at Oregon ethic law and we follow that.
Mhm.
That's what I,
So had he changed that in the new version? Jamie, do you know?
I can't remember
We need
for
to-
sure. He has a question about it there.
Okay,
And I remember answering it saying that Annalisa doesn't know quite how to do agendas there.
yeah.
So we would have to train her.
Good.
But I don't remember specifically what his question was.
Well, I think we answered it then. I think.
Yeah.
when you send it out, we'll know.
Yeah, it's in the version that he sent out, or at least it was in the
And
version
it
I
just
got.
takes
Okay.
all of this
And we
into
will
a
get the new
more,
one from you at the end.
it's just
Yeah.
better.
Okay. Yep.
Way better. It's way better. And like I say, I don't know about any of that.
Well, so
just
let me just
suffer.
explain. In December, I sent it to 3 separate emails. All 3 emails, you get a message back within a couple of minutes of sending it saying message blocked. That comes straight from Gmail. Then he called Annalisa, I believe it was the morning of the 22nd. She has access to this email because it's the public comment email address. Then she says, well, it's been sent. She sent him a screenshot using the cemetery district public email address, and it went through. He's got us blocked.
Can you, print those off for the
Yeah.
hard file?
I
I
can,
mean, it's good to have this information.
yeah,
so-
I have,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
And-
and Jenny's been keeping records of all of this, so we have the records, and in addition to providing a second email. If emails continue to not go through, providing a mailing address is another thing that folks can request specifically, so just keep those records.
the
in
other
place for-
thing in our bylaws that I do remember, which I know Mr. Alderman has not done. He has to request of us in writing that we do this.
He says he did.
No, he said it at the July meeting, when Velda was still on the board. But he never gave it to us in writing. Then when he changed it to the new, instead of Justin at Prineville Review, he wanted it changed to something else. He didn't request that one in writing either.
so maybe we need to make the request to him when this issue comes up with him again, we need to just say, hey, our bookkeeping does not show a written request.
This
Would
is
you
the email
please
that I-
give us a new one?
There's your email address right there, so you can use that email address.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
just take that for the email address.
Yes.
And if there's another email, a different mailing address, you can give us
That's
those,
correct.
and anyone can give us those, including Mr. Alderman.
Okay.
We can send that.
I've sent it to multiple email addresses, and every time it comes back, message blocked.
Okay,
Okay, and I accept that. I don't believe you're telling, I'm just saying, I want to get out of this.
well,
Hold on,
we've made so much strides.
Yeah,
the last
yes,
2
and
years
I
before.
just think this is a
And
good way.
like I said, I'm not gonna give him any special consideration because of the way he's treated us.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve it. So,
We've made a lot of inroads on going forward on the board, and I think this is a good way to move forward and keep documented what you have, Jamie.
Yep. not a problem.
I find a lot of districts use manager or someone in the office to put together agendas and things like that. So I think it's a common practice and
I think
probably
this
helps
is-
us.
I think this is just a good solution.
Mhm.
All right, it's
Okay.
been moved and seconded, then is that right? Okay, so.
I'm gonna abstain, so,
Okay.
I-
Call for a vote,
yeah, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
From Rick, I.
good or the eye.
Okay, motion passes.
I have one question on discussion of changes for the new year's, and this only comes about because I've been doing research at the cemetery, and I see, and the attorney may need to correct me. I think all minutes are kept perpetually from board meetings, correct?
I'm not sure if you've been doing that. Is it the question is you're supposed to keep them perpetually?
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure how long we need to
Okay.
keep them for, but
Well, I noticed,
books usually do keep
Yep.
written minutes and then virtual.
I believe it
We're
was
done.
Perpetual.
Permit, and that's what it says in the bylaws is permanent.
at least on the bylaw, that's what I read.
We
Yeah.
have some
Perfect.
good minutes from day one, we have good minutes. It's just been the last 10 years, I'm having a hard time getting everything. And I know it's there, I just haven't found it all. Everything else is in a really nice book. One of my question is it worth looking at scanning all of the old minutes? Because if something ever happened, we would have a scanned copy. And when I say scanned, I mean onto a computer system. We already have the hard
Mhm.
copy, but it might be good to have,
I think that's something that you need to really
Yeah.
think about doing. And I know there's a new system that just came out. They did microfiche and that's done now. And I know we're doing two, we have the microfilm, we're still, there's a new thing. So it might be worth it to pursue, and that would be a visit to the county clerk to say, what backup are you using here?
okay.
And then you could research what the cost would be.
All right, and especially since we're sort of co-partners, we're a public entity, same as,
She will answer you.
okay,
She's an elected official, you're an elected official.
okay,
When, and I saw going through that, the bylaws, I was making notes on it as far as the current way we're filing things and like, so then, because there's a lot of stuff that can be discarded after a certain amount of time. But, I'm going to look at a way to file stuff that is like currently we have like the last 2-3 years, like in a certain drawer, all of it, and it's all thrown together by month, right? So I'm gonna look at something on after 3 years, say, because a lot of stuff is 3 years before you can discard a lot of it. So maybe we keep 3 years on file, and then every month it just becomes a process of going through that last 3 years ago, this, and then filing the necessary things and that are permanent into their said file, yeah. So, but it's gonna take some time to get there because we literally have paperwork from probably back to the 40s to go through. I mean, and everything though, I mean, and they didn't throw anything away. And so it is a monster of a task, but that's something that I'm looking at that I want to moving forward to be in compliance with just the bylaws.
You can't collect another 50. You
No,
need a
yeah, we
different
can't.
system.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and there, and I know that the
please
system.
describe what you can stuff in there.
Well, but the
I mean,
this is, I know that microfilm was the way to go, and I know that now they have changed to a different, I don't know what it is,
I don't.
but it would be worth it because they researched it before they did.
when, and
And
it's, I
so
think
take that. research.
this is the first step too, because prior management never did. All they did was just
Yeah.
put it into a
Stick it
trash
into
can
another-
that they're not throwing anything from that trash can out. And those trash cans are becoming in abundance and
So
yeah.
are you guys good with me looking through stuff as a board? So Greg's been really good to get me all the old minutes that, up
Right.
until the
Yeah,
2000, they're pretty consistent. And we've been looking for others. Are you guys good with me still looking?
I
I'm
don't see-
not throwing anything
I
away.
don't see why you can't look because it's a public record.
Okay,
So
so I'm just, all I'm
therefore,
doing is putting them
That's
together
what it is.
with that here and I'll give it.
I
Public
do know when we were looking for stuff with Corey, there was some records that were missing, some minutes and stuff like that. So if you run across them, please let me know, because
Okay.
we were looking for them and we couldn't find them.
Okay, so if you want to stop up there, he's got several folders now that are actually from the start up to a certain date. I still have one at home. But what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get all the loose stuff put together that Craig's been giving me. So, I mean,
Right.
they're sort of sporadic.
yeah, there's some files that are
A mess.
2009 and then also 1993.
Yep.
And just tidbits in between. And
Yeah,
then in a whole nother file cabinet or trash can, you'll find all of like a year and yeah. And so Yeah, I was looking at the bylaws and the records keeping as far as, I mean, it's real good. We have tons of year-end, financial statement or like the audits.
And we have. to
And
keep
we have,
those.
yeah, and we have to keep those. And so, but we don't need to keep 30 copies of the same year.
No.
I mean, there's a ton of the same year copies, but I'm working on getting it, figured out to where I can put those in, but I still want to figure out how I want to file them, so it's easy for anybody to find them. Because currently it's not easy. If you needed minutes from 2 years ago, depending on the month, if we knew what month it was, it'd be easy, but,
Right.
currently there's really there's no segregation to that, like what information was what month, and so then it's just going. So it takes some time to go through all the paperwork by binder of every month to find what you're looking for, like.
Well, the stack you gave me wasn't even in a binder. Previous management just threw them in the drawer and they'll be 2002. And then
Yeah,
you'll
sure.
find
It just gets mixed up or
2000.
somebody
Yeah,
takes and divides the pot and then
Yeah.
they put it back.
Yeah, and so I
It's
want
pretty-
to, I want to come up with a
so
better,
If the
a
board-
much better system.
if the board's good, I'm fine with it, but I don't want to step on Craig's toes. All I'm doing is looking
No,
through it.
I
I'll hand
appreciate
back.
it. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I guess scanning old documents.
I think finding a preservation of documents,
Okay.
way that's kind of more what it is,
Yep.
because you have to.
And is
Like I
that
say, I'm just saying that I know that that's what they have to do there, and you know they changed.
I mean-
And I don't know the specifics.
It depends on how far you're talking about going here. I mean, are you talking
something-
just so we have a digital copy? Are you talking about making a digital database so that it's searchable? What
No.
are we talking about here?
For me, it's just like the minutes. We have to keep them perpetually. I'd like to see them scanned and it can be by year.
Okay.
I'm not interested in.
Just
being
curious.
searched. Yeah, just,
And
it's something to
But-
make sure
but
if
if
something
it's
bad
perpetual-
happened.
Yeah.
We
It's
have,
perpetual.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
and that's where, I mean, I can go through it once we get the final, the final pamphlet or of the bylaws and whatnot, and I got my list. I can go through and all the perpetual things, start getting that in order to scan. Because there, a lot of it's not, and a lot of it's obsolete at this point and we can get rid of.
Yep.
But, if I have that list, I can do that, but moving forward from this date, yes, like I want to start, the minutes, we scan them every month.
Mhm.
And it's just becomes part of the checklist of things that we gotta do.
but you have to have
And-
hard copy. too.
Yeah, and then we can file it, but at least we'll have the scanned document, to moving forward. But if we don't do it, if we don't start doing it now, it's just adding on till.
And I have the last 3 years.
Yeah, and-
Scanned
and-
because of the auditor needs them.
Oh, good.
So
And
as part
she
of the
has a
annual
lot of-
audit.
I know she has a lot of information.
Already scanned in.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. So maybe it'll be compatible with what if we choose to go with a system that's gonna make a scanning of them all, hopefully yours is compatible, or that I'm sure there's a way to convert it to.
Probably,
it.
yeah.
It would save us some time and expense to have
Yeah.
to scan.
I think the hardest part is just renaming one to scan. Once you
Yep.
scan something in, it's just, I mean, anybody can scan the stuff on, but it's,
Like Jamie said, you gotta, is it, are you looking for something specific, or is it just everything's getting scanned? I would just.
What do
like-
other cemeteries do? They've got to keep their filing, so there must be a program out there making.
yeah, I was thinking.
Just-
this.
Just,
That's the idea.
I would, yeah, that might be another good question for, not just cemetery districts, but every district, if they
Mhm.
have like a preferred platform, like SDAO could help you start there. I know I always
Yeah.
point to
Mhm.
them, or just talk to some other districts.
because I'm talking about deeds that she's keeping, but there's got to be something that is pertains to,
Possibly Oregon
Cemetery.
Mortuary might have a
Yeah,
software
they
too.
might.
and it's out there, and then.
Somebody had to have designed it, and if they didn't, then we're gonna do it and we're gonna make millions. I mean, I'm not very good at writing code, but I mean,
It's that's something that you can miss talent.
I mean, but I'm just, you know what I mean, like,
Well, maybe look into it.
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, yeah.
in the next Meeting.
because there's gotta be something out there. So
I know there is.
there's no recreating the wheel.
Divided into different
Nope,
things.
nope, yeah. I mean, I say that all the time.
And
Humble yourself.
I will offer,
Interest.
and I'm a glutton for punishment, but when it comes to the deed plots, I would be more than happy to work with you because I love
Mhm.
the old plots and stuff. It's just interesting to me. And I mean, there are just drawers where they just shuffled them in. There's no,
Rhyme or reason. They
Yeah.
had to find it, like you say, it got all sort, yeah, I get it, but unfortunately we have to.
Yes, at some point, somebody's gotta
And
to do
somebody
something.
has to
Yeah.
program
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
They have to.
The only reason I say, I know hers is, they've done this change,
so I guess, Craig, that would be my.
and maybe that software company makes a different software, who knows?
Yes.
I don't.
I mean, and there's companies out there that have reached out that do not just that aspect, but I mean, they plot out your cemetery
Sure.
and you can on a tablet, click on a grave site and everything that you have hard copy will pop up on that information. But to go one step further to make it a board kind of, and like that, it shouldn't be that difficult, to do have the minutes and have all of this and, be able to, there's gotta be a program that's out there for that. It's just, I know from anything that I've ever done on the computer scanning with like when I was in the military and stuff, it's not the scanning part, it's the renaming of each.
And
Because
that's why I
somebody
said
has to go through and
Because we-
rename every single
Yeah.
document, so every scan, which is rough. That's the
Do-
hardest part.
Do we even have a scanner up there?
No, well, I mean, we have our printer, but that's not really,
A scanner.
yeah, I mean, it'll
It's an all-in-one.
scan, but it's not at the
Yeah, it's not at
capacity
the
that we
capacity
need.
we need.
The
Yeah.
four books that I've seen to be about this tall.
So we would need the company to come in and do
Yeah, I
it.
think so. And then I have one more question for the New Year discussion, then I'll quit. My brother and I and Susie would like to start planting a few trees at the Beaver Creek Cemetery.
Wait, me?
Is that permissionable and is that something I'll just deal with you on? We've lost a bunch.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
As a
And we've talked-
member of the
and we-
board, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
Yeah, and
Why
I can,
can't you do a memorial tree anywhere?
probably, I was thinking maybe four.
no. So you can't, so.
I-
Threw you under the bus.
I'm fine, I'll go along with it.
I mean, in the rules, you can't, like the public can't just come in and
No, I
plant a
can't
tree.
put rose bush or
Uh,
something on it, but.
Well,
But
you
it
can't
is
just go
on-
up there and plant a tree,
But it
but
is
as
on the
long as you're
district
aware of it.
manager to, like, it does say the district manager can approve or deny like certain things. And we've talked like out there, it makes sense to do the perimeter.
Yeah.
And different, and, it's not very, there's a lot of vacancies up there, so we can
We
plant.
could dedicate.
Yeah, we
something.
could dedicate some
Yeah,
areas
they
just
just
to
can't
make
be
it look
sold.
better.
Oh, it's a district, okay, so I can cry if Craig tells you no.
I'm not, no, it needs it, believe me, it doesn't, and I
If we
love the
see
fact
as
that
the
that-
public can.
Now, look at the
Just-
public and all cry.
Cause I really don't like going up there and seeing it, trees laying on the ground, it's just a mess, it's just more work and so.
I agree.
Yeah.
We could make the tree planting also part of, we talked about redoing the fence.
Mhm.
So we could make that one great big thing.
It is one thing that we're gonna have to do, and I'm gonna try to get with Craig and go to the Mallory Cemetery one of these days if you're interested.
Yeah, oh no, I would love to, my wife just went there, I guess, they found it, yeah.
Cool, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuff.
You did?
and well, that's right, that's.
It's going to, we
We
just.
never got it done.
That was something I wanted, I have not laid eyes on that cemetery, but I want to, and she noticed that it had a lot of overgrowth.
Yes,
and-
nobody's dying.
And so that's something that, I mean, I already know the answer to it, but is that something I need to take care of?
Yes, we need to.
Take-
Yes.
clean up because
Then-
we own it.
I find it
Then-
interesting that the rancher next to it, this is 30 years ago, offered water to the Mallory Cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Take it.
They didn't take it. They went and looked and said it wasn't a reliable way to get water out of the reservoir, so they turned it down. And I thought, wow, that's sort of strange, because they talked about irrigating it, and making a yard or grass on it like they did. Yeah,
I have a feeling in that cemetery, there's people that are buried there that you don't know they're there.
probably.
I really
Yeah.
do, because it was, the stagecoach was there.
Mhm.
and you had people that died through whatever disease and whatever, I have a feeling that.
Yeah,
Well,
They
and,
just went and dug a hole.
and I have found a
Oh,
lot
and
of
that
records.
and too, or maybe
like,
had a wood
the-
stake. and
Yeah, the wood cross, yeah.
Even the hand, the
I have a feeling there's a
handwritten,
lot more.
I'm finding, yeah, so in my searches of the premises, I am finding old. You know, we have this massive Rolodex that has not just our 5 cemeteries, but countless other ones I don't even know. I've never even heard of them. So they're smaller, probably personal cemeteries.
Private.
For private, but
There's-
there's information about it.
the one is in Grant, the other is in Crook. So
It's the one where the
lower-
diphtheria people were.
That's in
Crook.
Grant,
Oh, that is
and
Crampton.
it is a public
Oh, I
cemetery.
wouldn't have known
The
that.
one on Delore, it was talked about in the
Mill
previous
Creek
meetings about being part of the
Is
district.
private, but yeah, I have a lot of records on this Rolodex of where names and their plot number. Way back-
Wonder if we reached
That's
out
fine.
to some of those
So I
other
wonder
cemeteries if we have those records, if they'd want.
Yeah, and I mean, I found a book too that it has name,
I think. so.
dates,
Maybe
date of birth, date of death, the one, it's all
Yeah, where-
handwritten.
And it says shot by
Yeah, and it's.
Yeah, it has, like,
1896.
cause of death and it'll say
I
shot,
don't know
so
if they
it's,
started rushing
it's like wild.
But the first ones was around 1896 and it says like how they died. Brain fever was one of the.
Was
things
common.
that Was common. I've never even heard of brain fever.
They just put
Mhm.
that-
But yeah, people by name who shot who.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's-
my horse was a common one.
It's in sad shape. We need to have it like, definitely.
But I mean, if it did start getting, I'm guessing they started writing it
No, they-
way, probably in the 20s maybe, but it still has that record of all those,
the reason.
the first burials
How
up
did we
there.
find out about this one?
we found it.
Like,
Yeah.
we didn't know we had this cemetery, right?
What, Maori?
Maori,
Yeah.
yeah, we
No,
knew, we just,
But we didn't know, but,
they just don't use it very
so
often.
Gary,
Is it one of our 5?
yeah, so
Oh,
Gary went through, was going through some of the paperwork that grabbed in a lot of the
No, I
deeds.
don't think so.
Like, which he would know where he found it, but he found the deed to that cemetery. Like, I don't know, with the deed to Maori, did you
Yeah.
find it in the notes or was it?
No, it's a big one. It's an actual, from the Western Land Colonization Company. It's an actual.
Yeah,
deed
and there's just
for
a
that.
lot of,
Cool.
there's so much information up there in files that
It will.
we haven't even
Should
touched.
These are the, so the
Yeah.
deeds at the clerks are all
And
typed.
there's.
We have
That'd be
the actual
better.
deeds. It's just sort of-
Yeah, hand drawn.
There's stuff in that.
So
I mean,
with
there's.
the changes, I wondered that maybe if we wanted to look at this coming year was, do we want to do anything with our fees?
Oh, that's a good question, because here, I meant to give you guys this, and I found this.
My God, now you got it fired up. I think you have to do that.
Sorry. about that.
No, that's like me. I forgot about the Maori thing and wanted to bring that up too.
No, but it does.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's what she said.
For the last 10 years.
Okay, so this is the last approved that I can find for pricing, so you guys take a look at
In
that.
twenty
That
eighteen.
was in the minutes.
How about what I go do is make a copy here and we take this home and let's put this on the agenda for next deal. How's that?
Yeah, that was a good, Jamie, that was a good catch, because I forgot all about that. I ran across that in the minute.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
with the
seems-
cost of everything going up,
We just need to see if it's working.
if it's, if
Well,
it's,
I mean, because I've seen on just the columbariums and our price, it's not, we're not covering the
Okay.
cost of,
right.
and we need to change that.
What I found interesting on the notes they put on it, at least they did some notes, it was, this needs to be reviewed in 7 or 8 years to see if it's in compliance.
And
with
also
current
what,
price.
what I currently have and where if there's any discrepancies. Because I found something in around 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's all current pretty much of
Okay.
our fees, which
That's probably what this is.
probably.
I just,
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're not losing money. I'm not looking to
Yeah.
make a profit, but I'm,
No,
I
it's
want to
something,
make sure.
it's something with inflation, and the price of, so our columbariums, we include the first engraving on the panel for the columbarium. And that price has substantially went up.
I should have probably got one for you too.
Well, all I need to do, let me just see real quick. I can tell, no, I can tell you if the. I can tell you if they're the same.
But at least they had plenty of help.
I think we're at
for the
675 or
I mean, they're all really, this is,
That's the same.
So I'm,
the same.
lights are 675, right?
Yeah, except that's the only change. This is
Yeah,
620.
and we talked about the liners when we ordered, remember?
Yeah,
Well, let's just, why don't we put this on the agenda
Yeah.
for next time?
No, yeah, that's been something
We'll
I've
look
been
at it.
thinking about.
Okay. Do you want me to just make you a copy?
No, it's all the same.
Okay,
I'm just going through making sure that they're all pretty
Okay.
much the same. Yeah, because like thawing of the grapes, in the wintertime,
how do you do that?
we use propane bottles and propane
They've
gas.
got a giant
And we
propane
have
heater.
if it's a full, it's a half a, culvert that has heaters on both ends. You fire up, well, for $50, that doesn't even cover the cost of the propane anymore. Like, because of, which I looked at that last winter. We don't hardly ever have to do it. So, but it's crazy.
I've been out during the winter, but my kids will probably tell you, forget it.
You know what Weekend Village is, one of those things with the old Indian, just stack the other on the, you know, how they did that.
You know, and with gas.
I always wanted a mausoleum of my own, but I probably don't get that either.
Yeah, like with the.
You moved to New
price
Orleans.
differences of,
I mean, we could open the drawer and say, hey, and then shut the drawer.
I know it's got a gate on it. You wanna come in and sit and visit with me and it'll have a keep out.
Yeah.
and like
You have to have the key to get in there, so.
There's not owned by.
Well,
us.
they have the mausoleum above ground because their water table's so high, so.
But also I knew a nun who was the nun that was there. And because of the moisture, your body decomposes. Within 6 months, your body is nothing. So now, let's say I go and they put me in there and 6 months later, they take a rake and they put it down and there's a little thing under, goes down. And then they put they put Jill, my daughter, in there. And then in 6 months, and I never knew that. And I don't believe Sister Margaret was telling me a story.
So they're stacking them
But
like
she's in-
firewood, is what you're saying.
Yeah, or maybe she told you and then went to confession.
Sister Margaret did it here, but no, I never thought about that. You're right, it's above, but because of the moisture, the body decomposes extremely.
That's the loophole. She could go to confession and get out.
In Europe, they just dig the bones out, put them in the cell or run at the church,
Yeah.
and then they sell the plot to somebody new.
In Greece, they have them in the backyard and they do the same thing. After a while, then they put it in a cardboard box,
Yuck.
put your name on it.
Yeah,
And most of the time it's in grandma's spot.
so like her ashes are now.
So are there any other projects or
No,
changes
we're-
we want to think about?
We died.
Paving or any of that? Do we want to add to this list? Paving, sprinklers?
Yeah, did we leave the paving on? I thought we transferred over, we've already delegated this, the sprinkler system needed to be fixed. It just-
Yeah, we took the money
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
haven't gotten that guy, it said on your
Yeah.
notes
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, no, I haven't, and
Okay,
And we gave that direction
Yeah.
when we did budget in June or July or.
just trying to keep a running plan of
But
what
you're
we,
You're right, and you said that you hadn't got
Yeah.
all that there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so if nobody has anything else, since we don't have any members of the public here, we don't have any online. So there will be no public comments today.
Board comment.
Do we have any board member comments?
So we've said all we needed to say.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Perfect, perfect.
Perfect, yeah, thank you. Sorry to keep you here so long.
Oh,
You get
it's no
it.
trouble. Yeah,
But
but
you-
sorry I had to be here, so.